Chapter 21 Wang Yan, I can't meet this condition. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Outside the wounded camp. Wang Yan was sitting by a bonfire, roasting a sheep on the bonfire. The guards were surrounding and protecting them. Who is Wang Yan, the military commander? At this time. Zhao Feng walked out of the wounded camp, and when he saw the situation outside, he immediately asked. A guard came over, glanced at Zhao Feng, and then asked, "Are you Zhao Feng?" "Yes." Zhao Feng nodded. "Please follow me." The guard immediately led the way. The power of the guard can only be possessed by those above the commander. Could this military commander be the little girl I met in Yangqing last time? That looking at the imposing guards around him, Zhao Feng thought to himself, after all, Zhao Feng had a very deep impression of these guards. Under the guidance of this guard, Zhao Feng came to the bonfire. It's this little girl. You can tell at a glance that she is a woman dressed as a man. Zhao Feng took a look and recognized her immediately. Why do you say you can recognize her at a glance? Although the girl in front of him also tied her hair like other sharp soldiers in the army, her fair face and petite figure can be seen at a glance, and if you look closely, you will find that she has no Adam's apple. After Zhao Feng came over. "General, the person is here." The guards on the side bowed. Wang Yan immediately stood up, turned her head and saw Zhao Feng, and a look of surprise flashed across her face. It seemed that she was surprised by Zhao Feng's appearance, or maybe she had misjudged Zhao Feng's age and appearance. Why is he so young? Wang Yan thought to herself, yesterday's battle. Zhao Feng went into battle covered in blood and his face could not be seen clearly. "Are you Zhao Feng?" Wang Yan asked tentatively. "Yes." Zhao Feng nodded, then clasped his fists and said, "I wonder what the general wants." "You can leave first." Wang Yan waved to the guards on the side. "Yes." The guards retreated one after another. After the others were gone, Wang Yan smiled slightly, then bowed to Zhao Feng and said, "I would like to thank you for saving my life. If you hadn't helped me yesterday, I might have died under the enemy's spear." "I helped?" That Zhao Feng was stunned, and his thoughts came back. When he killed Bao Yuan yesterday, he seemed to have saved someone, but Zhao Feng didn't pay too much attention to it. After all, Zhao Feng saved quite a few people yesterday. As comrades, killing the enemy is also a matter of convenience. The military commander doesn't have to do this. Zhao Feng said very calmly. Hearing this, looking at Zhao Feng's calm appearance, Wang Yan was even more surprised. In her opinion, if an ordinary person knew that he had saved himself and received his kindness, he would not be calm, but would also show joy. After all, Zhao Feng was only a logistics soldier, and he was the military commander of the main camp, and there was a big difference in status. "It may be a matter of convenience for you, but it is a life-saving grace for me. I owe you a life. Tell me what you want. I can agree to a condition within your ability." Wang Yan looked at Zhao Feng and said, "I don't want anything." Zhao Feng shook his head. "Money? Power? You can ask for any of these." Wang Yan said with some reluctance. She came to Zhao Feng to repay her gratitude. She is the daughter of Wang Jian, the general of the Qin dynasty. She has been taught since childhood that she must repay a favor and be loyal to the emperor and the country. If she can't repay this favor, how will others see her? I don't have too much demand for money. The annual salary is enough for my family to live. As for power, it's useless for me to ask for it. Besides, I killed Bao Yuan this time, and the reward according to the military merit system is not small." Zhao Feng still shook his head calmly, hearing this. Wang Yan was a little anxious. Zhao Feng in front of her looked very young, about the same age as herself, but why did this character seem to be different from that of this age? "Don't you have anything you want?" Wang Yan was a little unwilling to give up. "If you want something, then there is one. But can you do it?" Zhao Feng suddenly smiled. "You say?" Wang Yan said immediately. "I want to retire and go home. Can you do it?" Zhao Feng said immediately, looking at Wang Yan with expectation in his eyes. If this can be done, then Zhao Feng really thanks her. Compared with becoming famous in the army and having power, Zhao Feng wants to serve his mother more, of course. With his current strength, as long as he follows the trend of Qin's rule, he will have the opportunity to become a high-ranking official in the future, but it happened that Zhao Feng knew the trend of Qin's rule over the world, and he knew the future of Qin. Qin Shi Huang died, Hu Hai succeeded to the throne, and Qin Shi died. Zhao Feng also knew it clearly. It looks very far away, but in fact it is only 20 years, Qin's national destiny is only so long. If Zhao Feng wants, he can also be a king in the future at the end of Qin, and it will be easier, of course. Zhao Feng had no attachment to the power in the army. The real reason for his lack of attachment to the army was his mother's poor health. He and his sister were twins, a boy and a girl. After giving birth to him and his sister, his mother's body became very weak and sickly. Zhao Feng also wanted to fulfill his son's responsibility and serve his mother. You must know that giving birth to a child in this era means having one foot on the doorstep of death, and twins are even more dangerous. Zhao Feng didn't want to become a son who wanted to support him but couldn't be kissed. What? You want to get discharged and go home? Wang Yan looked at Zhao Feng in disbelief. Yes. Zhao Feng nodded. Do you know what you're talking about? You killed nearly 300 enemies by yourself in this battle. This is a huge feat. And you also killed Bao Yuan, which is more merit than merit. This time, the reason why our army's baggage and food routes were not successfully attacked by the violent kite is because of you. With this, you can be promoted to several levels of officialdom and nobility. You will have a bright future. You actually said you wanted to retire. Wang Yan said in surprise. Seeing Wang Yan's surprise, Zhao Feng was very calm. Maybe others would think he was crazy if he wanted to retire because of his great achievements, but in fact, Zhao Feng didn't care much at all. Yes. Zhao Feng replied. Seeing that Zhao Feng was not joking, Wang Yan was a little confused and didn't know what to say. When Zhao Feng saw the mutton roasting on the bonfire, he was not polite. Is this mutton roasted for your subordinates? Wang Yan said nothing and looked at Zhao Feng with a strange expression, as if Zhao Feng's words made her doubt herself. Zhao Feng was not polite and sat directly by the campfire, took out a knife and started cutting the meat. The military service system of the Great Qin dynasty is limited to 2 years for basic service and 5 years for elite service. No one is allowed to change the order, and soldiers are not allowed to end their service in advance, otherwise Qin law will punish them severely. You're right, I can't meet this condition. Wang Yan said. P.S. Please vote for recommendation, please vote for recommendation, please continue to read, thank you. Chapter 22. Everything is for survival. Nothing wrong. You are listening at novelfull.audio. It's okay. I've been in the army for half a year. According to the 2-year service limit, I can go home in 1.5 years. Zhao Feng smiled and didn't care. The reason why Zhao Feng asked Wang Yan was that he was a little playful. If he could really go back early, it would be great. If he couldn't go back, there was nothing he could do. You can't be a deserter. The punishment is very serious. You will be assigned to hard labor. Wang Yan asked in confusion. With your skills and your strength, you should have been a sharp soldier when you were assigned. Why were you assigned to the logistics army? What skills do I have? I just forced it out to survive. Zhao Feng laughed. Of course, when he was in the recruit camp, Zhao Feng also deliberately concealed his incompetence. Listening to Zhao Feng's answer, Wang Yan couldn't help but roll his eyes. If Zhao Feng killed a few enemies, it might be forced out, but killing nearly 300 enemy soldiers and rushing into the enemy's formation to kill Bao Yuan, was this still forced out? Don't you want to make achievements? With your strength, you will definitely be a high-ranking official in the future. Wang Yan couldn't help asking. She really didn't understand what Zhao Feng was thinking in her heart. He clearly had the strength to make achievements, but he didn't want to make achievements. Zhao Feng didn't answer. Instead, he ate roasted lamb. After joining the army, Zhao Feng hadn't eaten meat for a long time. Although Qin treated the army very well, it was only for the real elite soldiers, and the food for the logistics army was just enough to keep them warm and full. Qin Wangjing attached great importance to the elite soldiers who worked for him, but he didn't value the logistics army that didn't need to fight the enemy. In the words of later generations, the elite soldiers were regular troops, and the logistics army were some miscellaneous troops. After eating a few pieces of meat, Zhao Feng took the wine given by Master Qin and drank it beautifully. Then, Zhao Fengkai looked at Wang Yan and said, "Compared to making achievements, I want to live more." Wang Yan frowned and said, "As a man of the Qin dynasty, shouldn't you expand the territory for the country and be loyal to the emperor and serve the country?" For this, Zhao Feng smiled faintly. "Loyalty to the king, maybe. If an enemy invades my homeland, I will take up arms and fight him to the death. But expanding territory is what the powerful people connected to the king want. The larger the territory of Qin, the more the powerful people will gain, and expanding territory can also gain greater benefits. But for ordinary people like us, what does expanding territory have to do with us? What can we gain? It's nothing more than filling it with our lives, and eventually becoming a stepping stone for the benefits of the powerful people in the upper positions. The expansion of territory makes the powerful people smile. But for most ordinary people, in the end, they will get some more death pensions, and their family members will have an extra tombstone to bury their tears." Hee. These words made Wang Yan's face change. These words made Wang Yan's education completely different from that she had received since childhood, this was the first time Wang Yan came into contact with the perspective of ordinary civilians. She wanted to refute, but she didn't know how to refute for a while. After a long time. The Qin Empire is expanding its territory for the sake of the world. As long as the 6 kingdoms are destroyed, there will be no more wars in the world, and the people of the world can live and work in peace. As long as the world is unified, everyone can live in peace. This is the great wish of the Qin people of all generations. For this great wish, everyone can die. Don't you understand? After thinking for a long time, Wang Yan stared at Zhao Feng and said, "This is what the superiors think. The Qin people once fought to the death in order to have their own foundation and to protect their homes. Naturally, everyone will fight to the death. Of course. The unification of the world by the Qin Empire you mentioned may stop the war and bring peace to the world. But for ordinary people, it is best not to go to the battlefield to die. Not everyone wants to gain fame and wealth, but they can't help it. For example, I don't want to join the army at all, but I was drafted into the army when I reached the age. If there is a choice, I will fulfill my filial piety first." Zhao Feng smiled faintly, with a sense of helplessness. If it weren't for his mother's concern, perhaps Zhao Feng would not have resisted so much. Unify the world. As a person in the future, I really admired Qin Shi Huang's tremendous achievements. Zhao Feng also had great respect and admiration for Qin Shi Huang, because for the future Chinese, if Qin Shi Huang hadn't unified the world, the future Chinese would have fallen apart, and ethnic integration and humanistic unity would not have been achieved. In short, the evaluation of Qin Shi Huang in the future is that he is the greatest emperor in the history, and his achievements will last for thousands of years. But before the achievements will last for thousands of years, there is another sentence: the sin is in the present. Because the people in this era are too miserable, the name of tyranny. Maybe there are people after the end of the Qin dynasty who threw dirty water on Qin Shi Huang, but there is also a big part of the reason. The people really can't survive, and the tyranny of Qin is also what the people are calling. Only by living in this era can you know how difficult this era is. Reborn in this era, becoming a Qin citizen, and serving on the battlefield, Zhao Feng deeply knows how cruel it is, and human life is really worthless. In the present, Zhao Feng stays away from the battlefield. It's just that he has no choice but to go to the battlefield. Even though Zhao Feng is strong now, he is not sure if he can survive under thousands of troops. Even he is like this, let alone ordinary soldiers. This era. It's too cruel. Some people may be unwilling to remain silent and want to gain fame and status, and want to join the powerful through military merit, but that is too difficult. Most people were forcibly recruited and had to go to the battlefield. Listening to Zhao Feng's words, Wang Yan was silent again. At this moment, she really didn't seem to know how to speak. The short meeting lasted only a stick of incense, but Wang Yan's heart was also filled with an inexplicable feeling. Looking at the appearance of the military commander, he must be from a powerful family. You are protected by the personal guards that only the commanders have. Naturally, you are full of ambitions. You want to expand the territory for the court and make contributions to the family. For you, this is not wrong. But for me, for countless ordinary soldiers, the biggest pursuit is not power, but to survive, not let my mother cry, and be filial to my mother. A general's success is the result of the sacrifice of thousands of bones. As a civilian, I can avoid starvation and take care of my family. As a conscripted soldier, I can avoid dying on the battlefield. This is what I, as a civilian, and perhaps what countless civilians think. In general. As a king, it is not wrong to want to unify the world and create a victory that no one has ever achieved. As a powerful minister, it is not wrong to want to expand the territory and make contributions to the country. But as a civilian, as a soldier, there is a desire to survive, to want to survive, and to be filial to my mother, which is not wrong. Zhao Feng smiled and said with emotion, listening to Zhao Feng's words. Wang Yan's eyes also became complicated, and she seemed to understand. Zhao Feng did not speak again, but quietly ate the barbecue on the campfire. After eating, Zhao Feng slowly stood up and looked at Wang Yan meaningfully. P.S. Dear friends, do you really not have a recommendation vote? Daily reading is also fine, moi. Chapter 23 Wang Jian's Shock. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. The powerful military families may be interested in expanding the territory, but as a woman, if you can avoid the battlefield, avoid it. This is not the place to prove your own value. Zhao Feng said to Wang Yan, and then turned and walked towards the wounded camp, and this sentence made Wang Yan tremble all over. She opened her eyes wide and stared at Zhao Feng's back. It was not until Zhao Feng left that Wang Yan came back to her senses, and a hint of unexpected meaning appeared on her face, after a long time. He actually saw that I was a woman, and he seemed to have thought about why I went to the battlefield. As a woman, I don't want to. But if I don't go to the battlefield, don't make merit, and don't change. Even if I am the daughter of the general of the great Qin, even if I am of noble status, I can't escape the fate of being arranged to marry. I don't want to become a victim of political marriage, I want to control myself. Wang Yan murmured to herself. The biggest secret hidden in Wang Yan's heart was revealed by her, but Zhao Feng didn't hear it. In the house of the powerful Dud, if it were a man, he might be destined to be noble, but as a woman, he would inevitably become a victim of marriage, at this moment. Wang Yan's heart was also touched by Zhao Feng. The grace of saving her life and the heart-to-heart talk today made her feel a feeling she had never had before. Xuanhuan border. Wang Jian stood in front of the map with a frown. As the curtain of the tent opened, Wang Ben ran in quickly with a smile on his face. What's the matter? Wang Jian asked directly. Father. The crisis is resolved. Wang Ben said with relief. How was it resolved? Did Li Ting send troops back to help? But it's too late. Wang Jian asked in a deep voice. He learned about the hidden Han army raid in Yangqing last night. After learning about the situation, Wang Jian immediately interrupted the transportation of food and supplies, and immediately mobilized the troops in the camp to deal with it. As a famous general of Qin State, and the first step in destroying Han State, Wang Jian naturally has his own abilities, which are absolutely incomparable to Bao Yuan, you can say that. Even if Bao Yuan led his army to break through the scope of Yangqing, he couldn't cut off the food supply of Qin army. Wang Jian would not sit and wait for death. Father. The situation of this battle may be a little unbelievable. I don't know too much. Let's ask Father to read the military report submitted by Yener first. Wang Ben didn't say much, and directly picked up a bamboo slip and handed it to Wang Jian. Wang Jian took the military report and took a look. The expression on his face immediately became wonderful. After seeing the cause and effect, Wang Jian smiled. That is to say, the 8,000 Han troops have now been completely annihilated. The reason why they did not rush out of Yangqing and attack our army's food supply is because they were held back by our logistics troops, which gave Yener the opportunity to lead the army to catch up with the Han army. That's right. This logistics army has made great contributions. But only more than 600 of the 10,000 logistics troops survived in the end. Wang Ben said with some sighs. Treat this logistics army well. They used their bravery and fearlessness to prove that in addition to the main combat warriors, the logistics troops of our Qin army are also brave warriors. I will report to the king that the pensions for all the logistics soldiers who died in this battle will be increased by 30% on the original basis. This is what they deserve for their bravery in the battle. Wang Yan said in a deep voice. Father is wise. Wang Ben immediately agreed. Wang Yan nodded and continued to look at the battle report, but after experiencing the logistics army delaying the Han army, and seeing the follow-up, Wang Yan's expression became even more strange. He stood up suddenly, closed the bamboo slips in his hand, but then he was a little unconvinced, opened it again, and looked shocked and surprised. Father. What's wrong? Wang Ben asked in surprise. Wang Ben did not check the military report, but only knew the news of the surprise attack on the Han army. He killed nearly 300 Han soldiers with his own strength. He also killed Bao Yuan in the chaos. Wang Yan said slowly, with a look of shock. What? He killed 300 Han soldiers and Bao Yuan by himself? Wang Ben's expression changed, and he looked shocked. You can see it yourself. Wang Yan handed the military report directly to Wang Ben. The latter took it with both hands and read it carefully. His expression became very complicated. With this kind of fighting power, is he still a human being? And, he is also a logistics soldier. This fighting power is unmatched even among the elite soldiers in the main camp. Wang Ben said with great emotion. And this name, don't you think it sounds familiar? Wang Yan smiled. Zhao Feng. Wang Ben immediately read out the name. That day, Bao Qiu, the son of Bao Yuan, pretended to be dead at the border, and was also killed by this person. He killed Bao Yuan and his son alone, which is quite a coincidence. Wang Yan said with a smile. Father. Why is this person so brave in the logistics army? And is there really such a brave person in the world? Wang Ben is still concerned about this point, and as the current general, Wang Yan is in a high position and has great power, so he is naturally more calm. The world is so big, there are many talented people. He was assigned to the logistics army because he did not perform well as a recruit, so he was not assigned to the main battle elite. Maybe he was hiding something or he was not strong enough. This was also a personal choice. Wang Yan said slowly. Father. This time, the reason why our army was able to turn danger into safety and avoid being attacked by the Han army was that this man played a great role. If it were not for his bravery, no one in the logistics army would dare to fight the Han army. In addition, he killed nearly 300 enemies and killed Bao Yuan. This is a great contribution. Wang Ben said with great emotion. According to the military merits of our great Qin, how many levels should he be promoted? Wang Yan asked. Reply to father. He can be promoted to the second level for his merit in killing the enemy. He can be promoted to the third level for his merit in killing Han General Bao Yuan. If you want to grant him a title, then his official rank will be reduced. Wang Ben replied truthfully, in the great Qin court, killing the enemy and making merit will be promoted, but promotion is one thing, promotion is another. Official positions represent power, the number of soldiers in charge, title represents annual salary. The higher the title, the higher the annual salary and the more land one owns. The merit of killing Bao Yuan should be reported to the king, and this man should also be rewarded by the king. When Bao Yuan's head is delivered, I will personally write a letter to the king. Wang Yan said in a deep voice. This man is so brave and can no longer be succumbed to the logistics army. I propose to transfer him to the main battle camp to kill the enemy for the country. Wang Ben proposed directly. To this proposal, Wang Yan had no objection and nodded immediately. Such a talent, so brave, how can he still stay in the logistics army? P.S. My dears, please recommend and read, thank you. Chapter 24 How can such a talent be a military doctor? You are listening at novelfull.audio. You are right. How can such a talent be confined to the logistics army? I will personally report to the king, report his military merits, and ask for his transfer to the main camp as a general. rather than the logistics army. Wang Yan said immediately, the military system of the logistics army and the main camp may be the same, but the status is completely different. Logistics army, handling miscellaneous matters, carrying corpses, although incorporated into the army, is actually corvée with military status. If there is no military status, it is corvée. So a general of 10,000 people in the logistics army is not as good as a military marquis in the regular army of the main camp. Maybe he has more people under his command, but he is not as powerful. With Zhao Feng's military merits this time, he can be promoted by several levels, and his title will also be promoted, but if he is limited to the logistics army, the promotion will be relatively negligible, but if Zhao Feng's military status is transferred to the regular main camp, this promotion will be a real promotion. Such a great man, I am really curious to see him. Wang Ben said with a smile, just then. Report. Military Dr. Qin delivered an urgent report. The commander of Wang Jian's personal guards ran into the camp quickly, holding a bamboo slip in his hand. Military Dr. Qin is the first disciple of Dr. Xia, and the chief military doctor of our Lantian camp. He must have something important to report. Wang Ben said. Yes. Wang Jian nodded, then he walked up quickly and took the urgent report from Master Chen and read it. After reading it, Wang Jian's expression became strange again. Father, what's wrong? Did something happen in the wounded camp? I heard that Yenna almost died in Bao Yuan's hands this time. Fortunately, she was saved by Zhao Feng. I don't know if it was about my sister. Looking at Wang Jian's expression, Wang Ben said it anxiously. Your sister almost died in Bao Yuan's hands, as expected. Wang Jian's face changed when he heard the news about Wang Yan. Isn't this urgent report about Yenna? Wang Ben panicked. He was just a little worried. When Wang Yan's report was received, the news about Wang Yan was still reported secretly by the guards who had been protecting her. After all, Wang Ben had given instructions, anything about Wang Yan must be reported. I'm asking you a question. Your sister was almost killed by Bao Yuan. Wang Jian frowned and his tone became stern. Father. It was reported secretly by the guards I sent to protect Yenna. This battle was very dangerous. Yenna chased Bao Yuan all the way. After the two armies fought, Yenna was a little greedy and reckless and was surrounded by Bao Yuan's guards. Fortunately, Zhao Feng happened to kill him, so he killed Bao Yuan and saved Yenna. Due to Wang Jian's majesty, Wang Ben could only reply. This girl really doesn't know the dangers of the battlefield, and she dares to rush forward for merit. Wang Jian's face was cold, angry and worried. Father, what does this urgent report say? Military Dr. Chen has always been responsible for treating wounded soldiers, and he rarely reports. Wang Ben immediately changed the subject and asked, from his father's look, he could see that it was not his sister who was in trouble. This Zhao Feng. He is really a strange man. Wang Jian suddenly said with emotion. Wang Ben looked at him with a question mark on his face. Military Dr. Chen is asking me for someone. It is Zhao Feng who is wanted. Wang Jian said with a smile. What does he want Zhao Feng for? Wang Ben was even more puzzled. Zhao Feng is proficient in medicine and has created a medical technique called suturing, as well as quenching and disinfection. These medical techniques have greatly increased the chances of survival for seriously injured soldiers in the wounded camp. Originally, it was rare for 1 out of 10 seriously injured soldiers to survive, but with Zhao Feng's new medical techniques, only a dozen of the more than 200 seriously injured soldiers died, and the rest survived. Wang Jian said slowly, during the speech, it was naturally difficult to hide the shock. As the general of the Qin dynasty, he naturally had a very clear understanding of the camp under his command, and was also very clear about the casualties of the wounded. He naturally understood what the medical breakthrough reported by Master Chen could bring to the military camp, or to the entire Qin dynasty. There is such a magical medical technique. Only a dozen of the more than 200 seriously injured soldiers died. This can be called a miracle in the wounded camp. Wang Ben was also shocked. If it weren't for this, Master Chen would definitely not have come to me with an urgent message to ask for someone. Zhao Feng, this man is really amazing. Not only is he incredibly brave, he is also proficient in the medical skills of resurrecting the dead. Wang Jian's eyes were also filled with curiosity, but the words fell. Wang Ben immediately came to his senses. Father, such a talent must be truly used by our great Qin. Medical skills can be passed down and taught. Moreover, since military Dr. Qin praised him so much and saved so many people, he must have learned Zhao Feng's medical skills. In this way, it doesn't matter if there is one more Zhao Feng or one less Zhao Feng in the wounded camp. But Zhao Feng is so brave, our great Qin army must have such a brave general. Father once said. It is easy to get thousands of troops, but it is extremely difficult to get a brave general. Zhao Feng is so brave. This time, our great Qin can avoid being attacked by violent kites and avoid being cut off from food. Zhao Feng's bravery is indispensable. How can such a brave general be allowed to become a military doctor? Wang Ben said anxiously. In his opinion, Zhao Feng's value is not as simple as becoming a military doctor, but as a brave general of the Lantian main camp. Wang Jian glanced at Wang Ben and smiled. Do you think I am stupid? If such a brave man is made a military doctor, Meng Wu and others will laugh at me if they know it. Then father. If Zhao Feng is transferred to the main camp, I want him to serve in my main camp. Wang Ben laughed directly. As soon as this was said, Wang Jian smiled. You are a good plan, but now your main camp is only auxiliary, not the main attack. Even if you want to include Zhao Feng in the main camp, you need to include him in Li Ting's command. What about after destroying Han? Wang Ben was a little unwilling to give up. This was the first time he had seen such a brave soldier, so naturally he wanted to include him in his own command. Then we'll see. Wang Jian smiled faintly, but then his face became serious and gloomy. Nearly 10,000 Han troops are lurking in Yangcheng. If it weren't for the bravery of the logistics army, our army's central food supply route would be cut off by the Han army, and the consequences would be disastrous. The ambush in Yangcheng could have been avoided. Li Ting was too greedy and reckless, and he should be punished. Pass on this order, scold Li Ting, and remember it for now. After destroying Han, if there are no omissions, this fault can be forgiven. If there are still omissions in the future, they will be severely punished together. Hearing this, Wang Ben immediately accepted the order. I accept the order. Go. In addition, quickly report the situation here to Xianyang, so that the king knows the battle situation. Wang Jian nodded. P.S. Please recommend, please read, please recommend, and monthly votes. Chapter 25 Power can bring everything. You are listening at novelfull.audio. 2 days later. Yangcheng. Injured soldiers' camp. Zhao Feng, wearing military uniform, stood side by side with Master Chen, the chief military doctor of Lantian camp. At this moment, Master Chen was holding a needle and thread to sew up the wound of a seriously injured soldier. When the suturing was completed, Zhao Feng immediately took the medicine to apply to the wounded soldier, and then wrapped the bandage. Treat one wounded soldier and get 1 merit point. The panel prompted. Brother Chen, now you have completely learned the suturing method. Next, it depends on you to pass on this suturing method, so that more of my Qin wounded soldiers can survive. Zhao Feng smiled and said to Master Chen. Haha. You taught me well. And your talent is really high, and your skills in treating wounded soldiers are becoming more and more skilled. Master Chen said with a smile. Master Chen was also very happy after completely learning the suturing method. Brother Chen, how is the matter of letting me enter the military medical camp? At this time. Zhao Feng asked with a smile. After killing Bao Yuan, he also killed so many Han soldiers, becoming stronger. After the war, Zhao Feng naturally understood that he was going to enter the sight of the upper echelons. Just killing so many enemy soldiers was extremely shocking, not to mention killing a general. This kind of military exploit was too great. Zhao Feng also wanted to get such strength and would never let himself stay in the logistics army, so when he heard that Master Chen was going to pull him into the wounded camp, Zhao Feng was immediately excited. The wounded camp can gain merit, and it is far away from the battlefield. This is a good job. These 2 days, Zhao Feng did not stay in the original wounded camp to nourish his wounds, but followed Master Chen's military medical camp to Yangqing to continue treating the wounded. Now Zhao Feng's merit has reached 115 points. Compared with the attributes obtained, the merits obtained from these treatments are more fragrant. No news has been sent back yet. But it's a sure thing. I have never asked Wang Yan for help, and I think he will not refuse me. Master Chen smiled very confidently, just at this time. Entrance to the wounded camp, Wang Yan walked in slowly. Look, there should be news. As soon as Master Chen saw Wang Yan coming, a smile appeared on his face. I hope I can stay in the military medical camp. Zhao Feng was also secretly looking forward to it. Wang Yan walked over slowly. Military Dr. Chen, here is the letter sent back from the general's camp. Wang Yan held the bamboo slip in both hands and handed it to Master Chen. Thank you. Master Chen thanked him and immediately took it and took a look, but when he saw the content on the bamboo slip, the smile on Master Chen's face stopped. What's wrong? Seeing this expression, Zhao Feng felt something was wrong. Wang Yan refused to let you join our military medical camp, and said that you have a greater role. He has already reported to the king to include you in the main battle camp. Master Chen said with a very bad face. Zhao Feng's face was very calm, he had expected it long ago. Wang Yan also reported to the king of Qin to transfer himself to the main battle camp. Caught the eyes of Qin Shi Huang. If the king of Qin really issued an edict, he would not be able to leave even if he wanted to. This Wang Yan. He was the one who begged me to come to Lantian to take charge of the military medical camp. Now I finally asked him for something and he refused. No. I have to go to him in person. Master Chen looked unhappy. Military Dr. Chen. You may not know the value of Zhao Feng yet, right? Wang Yan, who was standing aside, spoke with a smile. He is serving in the logistics army. In addition to medical skills, is there any other difference? Master Chen frowned. He was only concerned about medical skills and treatment, he didn't know what contribution Zhao Feng made in this battle. If Zhao Feng hadn't bravely led the logistics army to counterattack this time, our army would have suffered heavy losses, the grain route would have been destroyed by the enemy, and Bao Yuan would have died in Zhao Feng's hands. Do you think the general would let such a brave general become a military doctor? Wang Yan said with a smile. Hearing this, Master Chen turned his head with a strange expression and looked at Zhao Feng. Is it true? Really? Zhao Feng nodded, but then said very earnestly, but I really want to stay in the military medical camp. Go to hell. If I had known you were so brave, I wouldn't have dared to say this. Do you know how much the current king values brave generals? If the king knew you were so brave, and Wang Yan transferred you to the military medical camp, Wang Yan would definitely be scolded. Master Chen scolded him angrily. If I am transferred to the main camp, can I retire in 2 years? Zhao Feng asked unwillingly. Ordinary elite soldiers serve for 5 years, and their titles are at least first-class titles. If you are disabled, you can retire, and you will be assigned a job in your hometown. But if you are a general above the rank of military marquis, the elderly can retire and be assigned a position in the court. Wang Yan said slowly. Hearing this, Zhao Feng's face showed a hint of disappointment. Brother Zhao. I just don't understand. For the soldiers of the logistics army, being transferred to the main camp is a great honor, and their annual salary increases. And you have made such great contributions. According to the Qin military merit system, you can be promoted several levels and your title will be greatly improved. If you are promoted in the logistics army, the same official position is much lower than that of the main camp, but the promotion after you move to the main camp is a real improvement. Master Chen asked in surprise. My mother has been weak and sick since she gave birth to me and my sister. I want to go home early to take care of my mother. I also want to go home alive. Zhao Feng sighed and said truthfully. When Master Chen heard this, his face showed a touch of admiration. Good boy, you really value love and filial piety. But You want to take care of your mother. Is it better than the maid serving you? Master Qin asked with a smile. What do you mean by this, Brother Qin? Zhao Feng was a little puzzled. Do you really not understand, kid, or are you pretending not to understand? As long as you gain power and authority, are you still afraid that no one will take care of your mother? You have made such a great contribution this time, the king will definitely reward you handsomely. And it's not just the merit of killing the enemy and beheading the generals, but also the merit of your suturing method and medical skills, which I have also reported. With these, you can not only be promoted to a higher position and obtain the corresponding land of the title, but the king has always been generous and will reward the ministers who have made contributions. The servants are one of them. You have been given servants. With so many people taking care of your mother, are you still worried? Master Qin said with a smile. Hearing this, Zhao Feng's face was also slightly surprised. Brother Zhao. Brother, I will tell you a truth today. People should strive for fame and honor in their lives. Not only for themselves, but also for their families and their descendants. As long as you have power, you can have whatever you want. And you have the foundation for this. Master Qin said slowly. P.S. Please give me recommendation votes and monthly votes. I will be very grateful. Chapter 26. There is a treasure in the palace that can cure your mother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a while. Maybe Brother Qin, what you said makes sense. But I still want to go home as soon as possible and fulfill my filial piety. How can serving others be better than serving the Son of Man? For my mother, she was scared when I was in the army. For me, I am always thinking about my mother. Zhao Feng said slowly. The reason why Zhao Feng did not focus entirely on getting promoted to a higher position was because Zhao Feng still wanted to go home. This was also the main reason why he allocated the logistics army. Master Qin glanced at Zhao Feng helplessly and didn't know what to say. Since ancient times, filial piety has been passed down in China, even though it is still the Warring States period and has not yet entered the Qin dynasty with true humanistic unity. Are you and your sister twins? Master Qin asked. Yes. Zhao Feng nodded. Because we are twins, my mother almost died when she gave birth to my sister and me. It is extremely difficult to make up for the physical deficit caused by childbirth, and it is even more difficult to cure it, but I know that a miracle medicine can cure it and prolong life. Master Qin suddenly said. Upon hearing this, Zhao Feng immediately became interested. It has been 15 years since Zhao Feng was reborn in this world. The memory of his previous life was restored when he was 10 years old, so he truly regards his mother in this world as a close relative. When he was a child, he saw his mother's frail appearance and the pain every cold season, which made Zhao Feng heartbroken. Her mother was a medical student, and she knew that there was no way to cure this shortcoming, but Zhao Feng had a wish in his heart to cure his mother. What kind of strange medicine is it? Where is it? Zhao Feng asked immediately. 1,000-year blood ginseng. Have you heard of it? Master Qin smiled. No. Zhao Feng shook his head, but Wang Yan on the side looked at Master Qin strangely, but for just a moment she seemed to think of something and didn't speak. The 1,000-year-old blood ginseng is stored in the great Qin treasury, and there is only one in the world. Master Qin said immediately. Hear this. Zhao Feng glanced at Master Qin and said angrily, Brother Qin, what you said is equivalent to not saying anything. It is stored in the great Qin treasury. How can you still let me steal it from the treasury? But even so, but Zhao Feng really had this idea surging in his heart. The palace must be heavily guarded, but if my attributes increase to more than 2,000 in the future, then the palace will be useless to me. In addition to carrying corpses, killing enemies is also a stronger medium to increase attributes. As long as I keep getting stronger, I will definitely have a chance to get this 1,000-year blood ginseng in the future. Zhao Feng thought to himself. Master Qin smiled at this moment. Going to the treasury to steal blood ginseng? You can't say that. The palace is heavily guarded and protected by tens of thousands of imperial guards. Let alone you alone, even if tens of thousands of troops attack, it is impossible to break through. Moreover, the treasury is made of copper and iron and cannot be opened without a key or human effort. However, you have a chance to obtain this blood ginseng. Zhao Feng glanced at him and said, Brother Qin, what do you mean by this? It's very simple. Now you have done great service for the Qin dynasty and for the king. You have killed so many enemies. Killing Bao Yuan and solving his problem of cutting off our army's food supply route will make the king remember you. When you make new contributions to the Qin dynasty in the future and kill a few more generals, it is not impossible to give you this priceless blood ginseng. Master Qin said with a smile, hear this. Zhao Feng also understood. Brother Qin, you want me to accept the transfer with peace of mind. Zhao Feng smiled slightly. You are too preoccupied. This is not a good thing on the battlefield. A slight distraction on the battlefield may lead to death. Although I have only known you for a few days, I recognize you as my little brother. And I'm not talking nonsense. Although this blood ginseng is a great treasure of the Qin dynasty, the current king is even more saintly and wise. If you really reach a certain position in the future, if you know that your mother needs blood ginseng to treat her illness, the king will definitely not refuse. Master Qin said with a smile. The king of Qin is indeed a saintly and wise king. Zhao Feng nodded in agreement. In this era, King Qin's wisdom may only be understood by his ministers, but in later generations, Qin Shihuang's reputation will be passed down through the ages and will last forever. Who dares to say that he is a foolish king? This blood ginseng also gives you hope of curing your mother's filial piety. The key thing I want to say is this. If the king really issues an edict to transfer you to the main battle camp, no one in the Qin dynasty would dare to disobey it. Disobedience to the king's edict is equivalent to the crime of treason, which will affect the entire clan. Under the royal authority, all ministers are respected and no one can violate it. Even if you want to refuse, you can't disobey. Master Qin slowly spoke again, with a silent awe of the royal power. This is an era where kingship reigns supreme, everyone under the royal power is an ant. Regarding Master Qin's statement, Zhao Feng nodded calmly. As a reborn person who knew thousands of years of history, Zhao Feng did not have such awe of the royal power. Of course, his own strength was also a kind of reliance. The royal power is indeed powerful. The king was so angry that he lay down his body thousands of miles away. This is not an empty talk from ancient times to the present, but a fact. From this sentence we can know the absolute authority that the king has. Brother Qin made a point today and I will keep it in mind. I'm going to decide on this 1,000-year blood ginseng. Zhao Feng smiled and then said very firmly, as Master Qin said, if it was King Qin who really issued an edict to mobilize himself into the main camp, Zhao Feng would have no way to disobey it. Deserter. Demoted to hard labor, died of exhaustion, he might be able to escape to another country, or even escape outside Shenzhou, but what about his mother and sister? Zhao Feng naturally saw it very clearly. Since he couldn't disobey, he could only obey, and the 1,000-year-old blood ginseng that Master Qin mentioned was indeed what Zhao Feng wanted. It was a treasure of the Qin State. Healing his mother was Zhao Feng's long-cherished wish. It's good that you can figure it out. Master Qin also laughed when he heard what Zhao Feng said. He was really afraid that Zhao Feng was an ignorant young man. Wang Yan, who was standing by, saw that Zhao Feng seemed to have figured it out, and he breathed a sigh of relief in his heart. But before the transfer order comes, I still have to follow Brother Qin for a while. Zhao Feng said with a smile. I can't wait. If the transfer order doesn't come for a month, you will follow me for a month. If it doesn't come for 2 months, you will follow me for 2 months. Master Qin laughed. Okay. Zhao Feng was also very happy. Zhao Feng was more looking forward to treating and saving people in the wounded camp than to fighting in the battlefield. Killing and saving people on the battlefield are two extremes. Seeing the wounded soldiers being saved by him, he also has merits in his account, which makes Zhao Feng enjoy it. Thank you for reporting the news, General Ho. Brother Zhao and I still need to treat the wounded, and the bloody smell in the camp is too heavy, so you should go back first. Master Qin turned his head and smiled at Wang Yan. P.S. Please recommend, please vote, please vote, please read. Chapter 27. Qin Shi Huang was shocked. You are listening at NovelFull.audio. Wang Yan didn't say anything, just looked at Zhao Feng. The logistics camp where you were originally located has not been moved yet. I have arranged a camp for you in the main camp. Also, General Li Teng wants to see you tonight. I will send someone to tell you then. Wang Yan said slowly. What does General Li want to see me for? Zhao Feng asked. You will know when you see him. Wang Yan said. Okay. Zhao Feng nodded and didn't ask any more questions. I'm leaving. Wang Yan looked at Zhao Feng again, and saw that Zhao Feng had nothing else to say to her. She was a little disappointed, but then she turned around and prepared to leave, but when she arrived at the entrance of the wounded camp, Wang Yan stopped again. I did come to the army to prove myself, but do you know why I want to prove myself? Do you think I really want to? After saying this, Wang Yan left with a kind of unwillingness from her heart. Zhao Feng was a little weird. I don't know why you want to prove yourself. Is it necessary to be so resentful towards me? Zhao Feng thought inexplicably in his heart. He and Wang Yan only met once, but Zhao Feng could hear the resentment in Wang Yan's words. On the side, Master Chen looked at Wang Yan who was leaving with a smile, and then looked at Zhao Feng. Boy! You are lucky. Master Chen said with a smile. What do you mean by lucky? Zhao Feng looked at Master Chen inexplicably. I know this girl. Her background is not simple. If you can be favored by her, you will be very successful in the future. Master Chen teased. Brother Chen, don't talk nonsense. I don't know her very well. And what do you mean by favor or not favor? Zhao Feng said unhappily. I heard before that someone saved her life in the chaos of the army. I didn't know who it was at first, but now I know it's you. You saved my life. This is a great favor, isn't this a great fate? Master Chen smiled. Zhao Feng glanced at him and went to treat the wounded. Master Chen looked at him with a smile in his eyes. I didn't expect it. Wang Jian's precious daughter actually has someone she likes. At the age of 15, it is the age for marriage. The king intends to marry Wang Jian's daughter to Prince Fusu. She joined the army to avoid it and wanted to change it with military merit. Wang Jian's daughter can be regarded as a remarkable woman. Xianyang. The solemn and majestic Qin Palace. Being greedy for merit and reckless, not sending more troops to defend Yangqing, not clearing Yangqing and pursuing. Let Bao Yuan lead nearly 10,000 soldiers to hide in Yangqing, attack our army's rear road, and attack our army's food supply. Li Teng. You are so disappointing. On a high position, Ying Zheng's face was ashen, full of anger. Your Majesty, calm down. All the ministers in the court raised their court tablets and shouted, Bao Yuan hid in Yangqing and attacked. This was a bad thing that was sure to destroy Han, and it could be called a failure. These could have been avoided. Don't worry, Your Majesty. Although Bao Yuan set an ambush and a surprise attack, his troops were limited after all, and he was facing General Wang Jian. Although my great Qin's food supply road will suffer some losses due to this attack, it is not enough to affect my great Qin's destruction of Han. Wei Liao stood up and said loudly. Ying Zheng nodded coldly, I hope so. The losses in this battle are the fault of Li Teng. Remember it for now and punish him later. Now is the time when the war is fierce, and it is also the key to destroying Han. Ying Zheng cannot be so foolish as to change the generals in the battle, just at this time. Report. A loud shout resounded outside the Qin palace. The eyes of all the civil and military officials in the court were all gathered. Most of them were nervous. I saw an urgent report soldier holding a flag quickly rushed into the hall, with a bamboo tube in his hand, and a box on his back. General, urgent report. Please read it, Your Majesty. The urgent report soldier bowed and hurriedly took off the bamboo tube on his back. Ying Zheng looked over immediately. Zhao Gao on the side walked quickly towards the palace, quickly took the bamboo tube, then bowed and walked quickly up the stairs, returning to Ying Zheng. Zhao Gao immediately opened the bamboo tube and took out the urgent report bamboo slips inside. "Please read it, Your Majesty." Zhao Gao knelt down and held the urgent report in both hands. Yingzheng took the urgent report expressionlessly and opened it to read. When he saw it, Yingzheng showed a hint of surprise on his face. When he finished reading it completely, Yingzheng's originally sullen face quietly showed a smile. "Ha ha ha. Bao Yuan, Bao Yuan. The plan ended in vain." Yingzheng laughed. With this laugh, the depression that had originally shrouded the hall also dissipated instantly. At this moment, the ministers in the hall looked at each other, and they all understood that this urgent report was definitely good news from Wang Yan. "Your Majesty. Did the general annihilate Bao Yuan?" Li Si stood up and asked tentatively. "Not only annihilated. Bao Yuan is also dead. After this, no general in Han can stop the Qin army." Yingzheng laughed, looking very happy. As the first country of the Qin army to go east, Yingzheng naturally attaches great importance to it. The first battle in the east must not fail, and Li Ting's greed for merit and recklessness naturally made Yingzheng a little angry. "Congratulations, Your Majesty. The destruction of Korea is just around the corner." All civil and military officials in the court sang loudly in unison. General Wang Jian's ability in commanding troops is unparalleled by Bao Yuan. The Bao Yuan soldiers made dangerous moves, but in the end they couldn't resist the might of our great Qin army. Wei Liao said with a smile. "Wei Qin made a mistake. Wang Jian is not the one who will resolve this battle." Yingzheng smiled, with a strange expression on his face. The general didn't annihilate Bao Yuan, but who was that? Could it be that Li Ting reacted and returned to the army? Wei Liao asked immediately. "This battle report will shock all the ministers." Yingzheng waved the urgent report in his hand, and then handed it to Zhao Gao beside him. "Read it." Zhao Gao on the side immediately took the bamboo slips, then faced the main hall and read loudly, his hoarse voice resounding, "Your Majesty, King Jian, I am here to report. In the Battle of Yangcheng, Li Teng was greedy for power and advanced rashly without leaving any heavy troops to defend us. Only then did Bao Yuan find an opportunity to sneak attack our army and attack Yangcheng. Bao Yuan made a surprise attack, and the 10,000 soldiers of our first logistics army were surprised, leaving more than 9,300 dead. But at the critical moment of the retreat, a brave commander in the logistics army took action and led his troops to fight against the enemy. In the end, all the fleeing logistics troops turned around to fight. With less than 5,000 troops, the logistics army successfully held Han back. Nearly 7,000 elite troops successfully supported the 5,000 elite troops stationed in Yangcheng to come to the rescue. The two armies worked together to successfully annihilate the enemy. This battle. The logistics army bravely killed the enemy. Although they are not elite soldiers, they are worthy of the name of the generals of the Qin dynasty. This is a great achievement. The key to the logistics army's counterattack lies in one person. P.S. Guys, please recommend votes, monthly votes, and rewards if you have any, thank you. Chapter 28, Colonel Zhao Feng, famous in the court. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Zhao Feng, the head of the logistics army, was fearless of death and enemies. He led his troops to fight against the Han army, which changed the situation of the logistics army's route. He killed 300 enemies by himself, and killed Han General Bao Yuan in the chaos, completely crushing the morale of the Han army, which gave our army the opportunity to annihilate the Han army together. This time, Zhao Feng played an indispensable role in preventing Bao Yuan from cutting off our Qin's food supply and attacking our logistics. I begged the king to reward Zhao Feng for his military merits and incorporate him into the main battle camp to serve Qin. Zhao Gao's voice resounded in the hall, and every minister could hear it clearly, and when they heard the number of enemies killed by Zhao Feng and the results of the battle, naturally, it caused an uproar among the Qin ministers in the hall. One man killed 300 enemies. Impossible. It's rare for a logistics soldier to survive the battle against the elite of Han, but he actually killed 300 Han soldiers. This is simply not something that human power can do, right? Such courage and bravery, how could it be a logistics soldier? Is this battle report wrong? And it also mentioned that Bao Yuan was killed by this logistics soldier named Zhao Feng, which is even more impossible, right? Even if it was a remnant army, Bao Yuan would be protected by elite soldiers, how could he be approached by others? Is this battle report wrong? Is the statistics wrong? Many ministers couldn't help but discuss it. For this number of killed enemies and this battle report, almost everyone was a little bit unbelievable. Even Qin Huang was shocked when he saw the number of killed enemies and the results of the battle, and his heart trembled. From ancient times to the present, even the most brave and fierce generals in the world have never achieved such results. No wonder all the ministers in the court were so surprised. Report to the king. Here is Bao Yuan's head. The urgent reporting soldier below respectfully held up the box containing Bao Yuan's head. This battle report was written by the general himself, and the results of the battle were naturally asked by the general himself, so it is natural that there will be no falsehood. Wei Liao stood up and said loudly. Hearing this, the discussion in the court immediately subsided. The military results statistics have always been very rigorous, starting with the military merits of the elite soldiers, then reviewed by the logistics army, and finally handed over to the deputy general, the main general, and the general. After all, the military merit system of the Qin dynasty is famous, and the military merits are earned by the elite soldiers at the cost of their lives, so there can be no omissions. And this time Wang Yan directly reported to the court and faced the king of Qin directly, so there can be no omissions. Your Majesty, I seem to have heard of this Zhao Feng. Li Si also spoke at this time. Has the court official forgotten the death of Baoqiu, the son of Bao Yuan? Xuanhuan looked at Li Si and smiled faintly. That's right. Baoqiu died at the hands of a logistics soldier that day. Who would have thought it was Zhao Feng? Both father and son died at the hands of the same person. Li Si suddenly came back to his senses, but there was a bit of weirdness on his face. Mentioning the death of Baoqiu, the ministers in the court that day naturally heard about it. Dying in a logistics soldier is an extremely humiliating thing. Originally, everyone thought that the logistics soldier was lucky and killed Baoqiu to get a promotion, but now it seems that it is not the logistics soldier who is lucky, but the logistics soldier named Zhao Feng himself. That day, Bao Yuan's son died at the hands of a logistics soldier. Everyone thought it was the logistics soldier's luck, but this time it seems that Bao Yuan and his son met a fierce soldier in the logistics army. Wei Liao said with emotion. God bless the great Qin. Let our great Qin have such a brave general. This must be the blessing of the king. Li Si immediately raised his imperial hu and shouted. After his flattery fell, all the ministers in the court raised their imperial hu and shouted in unison. The king is blessed with great fortune and is blessed by heaven. Daqin never liked to hear flattery, but today he smiled when he heard it. There is such a brave general in the logistics army, it is indeed God's blessing to me. Such a great achievement should be rewarded. Yingzheng said with a big laugh. Then, Yingzheng looked at Wei Liao. Wei Qin, how should Zhao Feng be rewarded for his military exploits this time? Report to the king. Those below 500 can be promoted for killing the enemy. Those above 500 should be promoted for killing the generals and defeating the enemy. Zhao Feng is the head of the logistics army. He killed 300 enemies and can be promoted to 500 and given a second-level title. Zhao Feng has killed the generals and defeated the enemy's sneak attack. He can be promoted by 2 levels and his title by 2 levels. Wei Liao immediately stood up and reported loudly. This is a reward for the merits of a sharp soldier. Yingzheng asked. Report to the king. Such a brave general should be rewarded for the merits of a sharp soldier. Does the king plan to keep him in the logistics army? Wei Liao replied with a smile. Yingzheng smiled. In my great Qin, the capable must be used. How can such a brave general be in the logistics army? Just then. Report. The great Dr. Xia Wuqia is asking for an audience outside the palace. Outside the palace. The commander of the imperial guards, Ren Xiong, spoke loudly. Hearing this name, Yingzheng's eyes flashed with joy, and then he immediately waved his hand. Announce, responded. An old man in the official robes of a Qin doctor walked slowly into the hall, seeing him. All the ministers gathered their eyes and cast a kind look. Old Minister Xia Wuqie pays homage to the king. After Xia Wuqie entered the hall, he bowed. Ing Zheng's eyes softened, and his voice became gentle. What is the matter with the audience, Xia Qin? If there is really an emergency, you can just go to the palace and tell me. From these words, we can hear the great favor that the king of Qin has for Xia Wuqie. This is a special honor that none of the ministers in the court have ever had. Report to the king. A genius has emerged in the Lantian camp. A genius in medicine. A smile appeared on Xia Wuqie's old face, and he said excitedly, looking at the excited Xia Wuqie. Ingzheng also had a hint of curiosity. Not only him, all the ministers in the court were like this. Who doesn't know the old man in front of him? The chief doctor of the Qin Empire, the doctor with the highest medical skills, Xia Wuqie, the person who can be called a genius in medicine by him is definitely not simple. Dr. Xia, have you accepted another talented disciple? Wei Liao asked with a smile. Not my disciple, but a genius in medicine in the army. Xia Wuqie turned his head and smiled. Xia Qingjia, please tell us in detail what kind of medical genius made you report to the court. Ing Zheng said with a smile. He could see that Xia Wuqie was extremely excited at the moment. Your Majesty. Words are not enough. This is the number of wounded soldiers who survived that my disciples in the Lantian camp compiled. Xia Wuqie took out a bamboo slip from his arms and bowed to present it. Zhao Gao, who was standing next to Ing Zheng, immediately walked down the stairs quickly, respectfully picked up the bamboo slip in Xia Wuqie's hand, and handed it to Ing Zheng. Ing Zheng opened the bamboo slip with curiosity. Suddenly, his expression showed a strange look. P.S. Darlings, please recommend and vote for me. Please vote for me, please. Chapter 29 Reward for Zhao Feng. You are listening at novelfull.audio. After a moment of calm, Ing Zheng finished reading the bamboo slips. Mr. Xia. Is your report true? Ing Zheng closed the bamboo slips and asked very seriously. This report was drafted and submitted by Master Chen, the disciple of the old minister. Absolutely true. The suturing method and the quenching disinfection method are indeed effective. Master Chen counted 300 seriously injured soldiers, and 275 of the 300 survived, and only 25 died of serious injuries. And those who survived have never been infected with the 7-day wind. This was impossible in the past. Xia Wuqie said seriously, but his old face still couldn't hide his excitement. As a doctor, it is a happy thing to be able to learn more advanced medical skills, and it is even more happy to be able to treat more people. 7-day wind, it is a problem that has been difficult to avoid for thousands of years, but now there is a way to prevent it. Suturing, a strange method of stopping bleeding, can greatly stop the bleeding of the wounded soldiers who were originally bleeding heavily, and it has a miraculous effect when combined with hemostatic drugs. Hearing Xia Wuqie's words, the ministers in the court also instantly understood why Xia Wuqie, who almost never attended court, suddenly came today. For the Qin army, this is indeed a big deal. Every time there is a war, the wounded are greatly damaged. These wounded soldiers are the elite soldiers of the Qin dynasty. It is a pity to die one of them, not to mention that every war has at least thousands of wounded soldiers, or even more. In the era of cold weapons, most of the injuries were internal injuries, and there was bleeding. Of course, there is also a 7-day wind that is difficult to avoid. In the past, it was considered a blessing for 1 or 2 out of 10 seriously injured soldiers to survive, but now the numbers are reversed. The survival rate has increased so much. Since it has been recognized by Xia Qin's family, this medical skill must have advantages and must be useful. And it has been implemented in practice. It is really God bless Qin. Ing Zheng said loudly. From these 2 innovative medical techniques, we can see this boy's medical talent. I beg you to transfer this boy to the Lantian military medical camp, so that my useless disciple can teach him a few times. I will call him to Xianyang one day. I intend to teach him in person. Xia Wuqie said excitedly. Hearing this, Ing Zheng showed a helpless smile on his face. If it were in the past, no matter what Xia Wuqie asked for, Ying Zheng would agree, but just now, he had announced that he would transfer Zhao Feng to the main camp. If such a brave general was a military doctor, the world would laugh at Daqin. Xia Qing's family. If you want someone else, maybe I can give it to you, but not this person. Ying Zheng smiled. Why? Xia Wuqie's face changed slightly, and he said puzzledly, my useless disciple said that this boy is a logistics soldier. As soon as these words fell, the ministers in the court looked at Xia Wuqie, and then looked at Ying Zheng. In an instant, many ministers thought of one thing. Logistics army, and the king also rejected Dr. Xia. Could it be that the person who created a new medical skill was Zhao Feng? The quick-reacting ministers in the court couldn't help but think, otherwise, Ying Zheng would never refuse Xia Wuqie. The logistics army that Xia Qing's family is talking about is incredible. Bao Yuan led his army to hide in Yangqing and suddenly attacked our army. If it weren't for this boy's bravery in leading the logistics army to fight, our Qin's grain road would have been cut off by Bao Yuan. He killed 300 enemies alone and killed Bao Yuan himself. Such a brave general is not just a logistics army. General Wang Yan has reported to me, asking me to transfer this boy to the main battle camp to serve, and I have agreed. Ying Zheng said with a smile. Xia Wuqie was surprised. How could Zhao Feng be so powerful? He really surprised me. Originally, I knew that this boy was very brave and could be called a brave general. I never thought that Xia Qing's family would bring me good news. He is actually proficient in medicine, and can be of great use to the wounded camp in our army. Ying Zheng also said in a surprised tone. Xia Wuqie came back to his senses. This boy is a brave general, and General Wang Yan has also spoken, so I am too rude. But I can guarantee with my life that the medical skills created by Zhao Feng have never been seen before, and they are indeed miraculous, enough to prevent countless wounded soldiers in my Qin from dying. I will report to the king on behalf of all the wounded soldiers in Qin, and reward Zhao Feng. As he said, Xia Wuqie bowed. Ying Zheng waved his hand. Don't worry, Xia Qing's family, anyone who has made contributions to our great Qin will be rewarded. Wei Qing. Draft an edict and send it to the Lantian camp. Wei Liao immediately stood up. I respectfully listened to the king's edict. Zhao Feng, the head of the logistics army, has made contributions to the country, bravely killed the enemy, solved the danger of enemy attacks, and created a medical method to save our great Qin's wounded soldiers. They are all great merits and should be rewarded heavily. Now, transfer Zhao Feng to the main battle camp to command the army and be a sharp officer. Promote Zhao Feng to the 4th level of official, as a military marquis, commanding 5,000 soldiers. Promote Zhao Feng to the 5th level of nobility, and grant the title of official doctor. Military salary, nobility annual salary and deserved land are all determined by military merit, and will be redeemed after the war. Ying Zheng said in a majestic voice. For the merit of killing the enemy and the merit of beheading the general, Zhao Feng was supposed to be promoted to the 4th level, but this time, Ying Zheng gave Zhao Feng an extra level. Compared to military positions, it is even more difficult to be promoted to a noble title. After all, a noble title represents favors, annual salary, and land outside of military positions. I received the imperial edict. Wei Liao responded immediately. Tell Wang Yan. Let him decide how to use and mobilize this brave general. Ying Zheng said again. I understand. Your Majesty. I have another matter to report. Wei Liao said respectfully. Speak. Ying Zheng looked at Wei Liao. The Baoyuan sneaked in and attacked, and the fault was Li Ting's greed for merit and recklessness. The logistics army was originally responsible for handling logistics and baggage, not the main battle camp. This time they were attacked by the enemy but fought fearlessly, which gave Daqin the opportunity to annihilate Baoyuan and made great contributions. And the pension for the dead in the logistics army is much lower than that of the main battle elite soldiers. These logistics soldiers all died because of the mistake of one general, and died fearlessly killing the enemy. I beg the king to show his grace and treat these logistic soldiers with the care of elite soldiers to show the king's grace. Wei Liao bowed and said loudly, as soon as these words fell, Ing Zheng's eyebrows were moved. Your Majesty. The system of titles cannot be messed up. This time, nearly 10,000 logistic soldiers died in the battle. If all of them are given pensions as elite soldiers, it will simply cost the treasury more money and grain. Now that my great Qin is mobilizing troops, it is already increasing the loss of money and grain every day. The system of titles cannot be messed up because of this. An old minister who is the head of the civil officials stood up, and it was the current Prime Minister Wang Yan. I second the motion. The system of titles and the expenditure of the treasury, once used arbitrarily, will be detrimental to the country. Please think twice. After Wang Yan, one after another court officials stood up to echo, no surprise, these are all civil officials, P.S. Please recommend votes, monthly votes, and follow-up reading, thank you friends. Chapter 30 It is true that heroes emerge from youth. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Prime Minister Wang. If these brave soldiers who died in battle are treated badly because of the expenditure of the national treasury, it will make the whole army feel disheartened. Wei Liao turned his head and said to Wang Yan. The title system is like this, and the system of the logistics army and the regular army is like this. If everything can be changed, how can we regulate and restrain in the future? Wang Yan said without changing his mind. Wei Liao smiled lightly. Regulation and restraint should indeed come first, but the logistics army is also a soldier. Their original duty is to handle logistics, but they went to the battlefield. They died for the country, and they should also have a share of the death compensation for the main battle warriors. The strength of the Qin dynasty, the strength of the army, and the strength of the soldiers' morale. The voice fell. It may be feasible in terms of human feelings, but it is not possible in terms of national law. Master Wei is in charge of military merit rewards and punishments. He should be clear about this, and he should also know that the Qin dynasty's military operations will cause huge losses to the country's national strength. Wang Yan still did not change, but at this time. Ing Zheng spoke, okay. Your Majesty. Wang Yan and Wei Liao bowed. National laws and regulations cannot be violated, but soldiers who die for the country should not be treated lightly. Half of the pension for the nobles will be used to compensate these soldiers who are loyal to the country. This is also an explanation I give to them. Ing Zheng said slowly, it seems casual, but it is actually a decision. Your Majesty is wise. Wei Liao bowed immediately, his face full of joy. Wang Yan was silent. Prime Minister, did you hear it clearly? Ing Zheng frowned and looked at Wang Yan, facing Ing Zheng's Majesty. Wang Yan could only bow, I understand. Okay. If you have nothing to say, let's adjourn the court. Dr. Xia will enter the Zhangtai Palace for a chat. Ing Zheng stood up and waved his hand. Afterwards, Ing Zheng turned around and left the Qin Palace. Farewell, Your Majesty. The ministers sang in unison, wait until Ing Zheng leaves. Master Wei. You don't know how expensive firewood and rice are until you run the household. My great Qin has been sending troops to Han for 3 months. In these 3 months, do you know how much food and grass the 300,000-man army has consumed every day? Wang Yan walked to Wei Liao and snorted coldly, very dissatisfied. Although I am not the head of the household, I also know the national strength of the great Qin. Although destroying Han will consume some national strength, it is far from the great loss that the Prime Minister said. Over the years, has the food and grass that the former Prime Minister reserved for the great Qin been consumed by the current Prime Minister? Or is the current one not as good as the previous one? Wei Liao sneered, flicked his sleeves, and turned away. Wang Yan's face turned livid after being ridiculed by Wei Liao, but he finally held back. Perhaps, this is the collision between the old nobles and the new nobles in the seemingly peaceful and united Great Qin court. Since the King of Qin took power, the Qin State has ushered in a great change. Originally, the imperial family and the old nobles of Qin State dominated the court, but Ing Zheng adhered to the principle of employing talents. Not sticking to one pattern, seeking talents from all over the world, and employing foreign guests. Now the court of the great Qin state has been divided into two factions, the old nobles and the new nobles. The conflict of interests and the struggle for power made them hostile to each other, and Yingzheng naturally saw everything, but did not stop it. The king's power was like this, controlling the ministers, the sleeping palaces of the kings of Qin in successive dynasties. Zhangtai Palace. Dr. Xia is here. Zhao Gao shouted outside the palace. Xia Wuqi strode into the palace. Following Xia Wuqi into the palace, Yingzheng, who was waiting in the palace, waved his hand. Zhao Gao immediately bowed and nodded, and slowly closed the door of the palace. Father-in-law. Yingzheng shouted gently. Your Majesty. Xia Wuqi bowed in return. The last time I saw you was a month ago. Does father-in-law really hate seeing me so much? Yingzheng said with some helplessness. Your Majesty, you think too much. You know my character. I have never liked the court, let alone the palace. Studying medicine is what I want. Xia Wuqi replied with a smile. Hearing this, Yingzheng just smiled slightly, with a kind of sadness. If possible, father-in-law, please come to the palace more often. There is no one around me who is worthy of my sincerity in these years. Okay. Xia Wuqi nodded without saying much. Seeing this, the smile on Yingzheng's face became more intense. How many people know about the new medical skills of the military medical camp? Yingzheng asked. Then Zhao Feng gave this suturing technique and quenching and disinfection technique to Master Chen, and my disciple taught them to many military doctors. Xia Wuqi said. Such medical skills have reduced the casualties in our army by so much. It's really unprecedented. Yingzheng sighed. If it weren't for this, I would never ask the king for credit for him. And this boy didn't ask for anything when he taught me medicine. I have only one thing to say to this boy, a doctor should be kind. Xia Wuqi said with a smile. Father-in-law, you have thought of taking a disciple. Yingzheng smiled and saw through it. Yes. I thought that my medical skills had reached the pinnacle in my life, but I never thought that there are people better than me. Master Chen said that this boy's medical skills are not great, but he has unique insights into medicine. As long as he is taught, he will become a great doctor. Xia Wuqi said with certainty. Hearing this, Yingzheng felt a little ashamed. This son is extremely brave, and Wang Yan even personally petitioned for help. It would be a pity to use his ability as a military doctor. It is rare for my father-in-law to speak, but I can't help you this time. Your Majesty, your words are serious. Compared to a strong soldier, training a great doctor is nothing. Xia Wuqi said with a smile. Father-in-law. I have now begun my journey to unify the world. Destroying South Korea is only the first step. The second step is Zhao. Soon, Gu will make his father-in-law's wish come true. Yingzheng stared at Xia Wuqi with a sense of promise. Yangcheng, County Sheriff's Mansion. Report to General Li. The commander of the logistics army, Zhao Feng, is here. Wang Yan led Zhao Feng into the hall and said with cupped fists. Meet General Li. Zhao Feng immediately bowed, cupping his hands and fists. If you don't have a title and are an ordinary logistics soldier, you need to kneel down when meeting your superior, but now that Zhao Feng has a title, even if he meets the king of Qin, he only has to bow and pay homage. Hear the sound. Li Ting raised his head and looked at Zhao Feng. After examining him for a moment, he smiled and said, I never thought you were so young. As expected, a hero comes from a young age. Historically, it was Qin Shi Huang who destroyed Han Dynasty with Nei Shi Teng as his general. This man was named Li Teng. Did he later become an official in Nei Shi? Looking at Li Ting in front of him, Zhao Feng couldn't help but think to himself, to Zhao Feng, the person in front of him was a living historical figure. It can also be counted as a character recorded in history. Think about it carefully. This can be regarded as the first famous historical figure that Zhao Feng has ever seen in a real sense. Bao Yuan's words. It probably doesn't count. After all, he was beheaded by himself as soon as he met him. Thank you, General Li. Zhao Feng immediately replied in a neither humble nor condescending manner, P.S. Please give me recommendation votes, monthly votes, and follow-up reading.